Let's discuss this a little deeper. Joining me from Cairo, Dr. Amami Soliman, Director of the Mediterranean Studies Institute at Alexandria University. She's an Associate Professor of Modern History and International Relations. Joining me also from Beijing, Aina Tangen, Senior Fellow at the Tai Ho Institute and Chairman of the Asia Narratives, joining us via Zoom from Beijing. Dr. Amami, let me start off with you there, because the UN, Iran's ambassador to the UN, Amir Said Iravani, has called the US attack a grave threat against regional and international peace and security. What is the likely implication of the US strikes on the overall peace and stability in the Middle East?
I don't think that there would be a direct retaliation from Iran. However, Iran now is in a place where it has to prove to itself, to its people, and also to the entire world that it can defend itself, and it's not going to surrender to the Americans or to the Israelis as President Trump wants. It would really put hard implications on regional stability. Now, in every corner of the Middle East, people are anticipating what's next. There would be attacks on the U.S. interests in the region, such as military bases for once. We also heard talking about perhaps a closure of Hormuz Strait, where 20% of the exports of crude oil go through. We would see also attacks from Houthi or from Hezbollah as proxy players for Iran. No one can know for sure what's the next step. I don't think that the Iranians themselves have made their minds about the reaction. However, there would be a reaction. What's it? We're not sure, but it's of course worrying to every single person in the Middle East. What's coming next?
Right. So, Aina, it is worrying to the people of the Middle as to what is coming next, because Iran has also requested an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council, and it has urged it to condemn the US strikes on its nuclear facilities. So what do the strikes portend for international peace and security?
Well, it brings in a new era where it's the rule of the jungle, not the rule of law. The United States violated its internal domestic laws and international laws, and it doesn't seem to care. Unfortunately, going to the UN Security Council is pointless. You can go there, you can certainly put the case forward, but the US is going to veto any kind of action that condemns it. So this is more about a photo op, opportunity to display what the US has done than any kind of reality.
All right, and back to you, Dr. Soleimani, because the Arab League foreign ministers had gathered on Friday to discuss the Iran-Israel conflict. So now many will be wondering, what message are the strikes now sending to Washington's allies in the Middle East?
Well, it's a double message, actually. It's a message that the U.S. doesn't really care what's coming next for the people of the region, and it's putting all the allying regimes in the region to the U.S. in a place very embarrassing, where they cannot defend what the U.S. is doing, and its unconditional support to Israel and its action. At the same level, it's also putting these countries in danger because of the U.S. bases, especially in the Gulf region, and the U.S. interests that would be targeted by Iran geographically and geopolitically. This is what Iran can target, and this is what it's in its reach. Only what the Americans have in the Middle East, especially in Arabia. So as I said, once again, everyone in the region is worried about how Iran is going to respond and what countries are going to be dragged to this war that they didn't choose to be a part of at the first place.
Right. So, Aina, I do want to quote the Iran foreign minister again, because he did say, acceding to British and European Union calls for Iran to return to the negotiating table are unfeasible now following the latest development. So what options do the international community, led by the UN, though, have in terms of diffusing the situation?
Very little. In the end, it's going to be economic pressure as the U.S. Has to shoulder these costs. Also, as I was pointing out earlier, this is a huge blow to Israel in terms of the economics. They're spending $725 million a day on the war with Iran. They spent almost $38 billion already with the war in Gaza. Their shops aren't working. They've had to close down their oil and gas areas because they're afraid they're going to be hit. Their economy is basically in a shambles. So it's a question of how long can they last? Yes, Iran also has its problems, but all you see here is suffering. And the question is, who's going to blink first?
That is the question, who's going to blink first. Dr. Suleiman, should Iran be worried about the expanded military activity against the country with the entry of the U.S.?
I'm not expecting Iran to retaliate directly to U.S. interests, but I'm expecting to put more pressure on Israel, and I'm expecting perhaps the proxy players of Iran, such as Houthis or Hezbollah, we might see other attacks from their proxy players in the region. But I do not think that Iran would directly target U.S. goals and give the Americans another reason to hit again, maybe on a larger scale this time. All that we can hope for now, for the good of everyone in the region and in the entire world, is for a truce or a ceasefire.
Aina Tangen, I want to get your view on that. Should Iran be worried about the expanded military activity against the country with now the latest entry of the United States?
Absolutely, they should be concerned. There's no regard for human life in terms of Donald Trump. He's demonstrated time and time again that he'll support causes, whether it's genocide in Gaza or these kind of missile attacks, which he doesn't equate with war, kind of strangely. He thinks war is when you have boots on the ground. Well, when you attack somebody, that's war. So at this point, yes, they have to be concerned. The question is, there's not, what can they do about it? And there's not much until the U.S. Pulls back, reflects, or says, look, this is too costly. This is going to go on.
Right. So, Dr. Suleiman, your thoughts on this, though? What is Iran's defense capability in the wake of the assault by both the U.S. and Israel?
In terms of military power, I don't think that Iran in a place where it can really do harm to the U.S. strikers on it. However, it can continue what it has been doing for the past 8 or 9 days against Israel. We have seen yesterday the use of the new missiles, the Khyber Shikin, and they can really do damage to the Israelis. However, in terms of defense, I think from day one we have seen how feeble these are in Iran. And the scale of destruction and the scale of killing and injuries in Iran tells you that their defense system was not very good from day one. So after almost 9 days of the war, I think it's getting weaker. We can now only depend on the want of everyone to stop what's going on. As your esteemed guest said, no one is really winning this battle, especially of what Israel has been spending on war, with the closure of Ben Gurion airport, with the closure of many sectors in Israel. So it's not about how weak the defenses are in Iran. They are getting weaker by day, but it's also depending on when the Israelis also would have enough of the crippling of their economy and their everyday life.